Take the 5. It is time for the next phase of your journey.
My fist hungers for justice. That was my fist.
With the announcement of Kung Fu Panda 4, theories started circulating online about what might occur in the 4th installment. Most notably, fans are curious to find out who would be the new villain, or if they'll see some opposed past enemies. Lucky for you, we've got answers to all your questions. Since Kung Fu Panda in 2008, Po has made significant progress. Po's transformation into the Dragon Warrior in Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3 allow him to improve his skills as a mentor and a guardian of the Valley of Peace. TV spin-offs that highlighted Po's adventures with the Furious 5 at times, focusing the entire camera on them, added to the franchise's richness. While the Kung Fu Panda TV shows and short films were especially valuable for the world building they provided, the feature films focused on improving Po's abilities and his own story, making a new Kung Fu Panda movie especially interesting when considering Po's path. Kung Fu Panda 4 now has a release date, though some details are still murky. It will be the first movie in the popular franchise that Universal will distribute after they acquired DreamWorks in 2016. The release date for Kung Fu Panda 4 is March 8, 2024. Even though the Kung Fu Panda franchise has continued to grow through TV shows, the news that DreamWorks Animation working on Kung Fu Panda 4 was expected. Despite the Kung Fu Panda feature films being a huge box office success, there was hope but not much expectation for a 4th installment. Few other details are known, but it's certain that Po will once again engage in animated Bruce Lee-style Kung Fu shenanigans and Kung Fu Panda 4 story. In Kung Fu Panda 4, Po will depart from the Valley of Peace and travel to the city, where the unexpected manifestation of evil will be waiting for them. There's a new bad guy in town, and the Dragon Warrior will not mess with him. Po will have to find a replacement because he knows he can't continue to be the Dragon Warrior indefinitely. In addition to having faced his toughest opponent yet, it was already controversial how he got the job, and the fact that the Grand Master always stood up for him had a significant impact on how the Kung Fu community initially viewed him. Po will try to find a deserving fighter while he still has the opportunity to do so without a lot of pressure on him, because he's aware that the process to find a successor can be messy, to say the least. Now, before I tell you more about this new villain, smash that like button and join us on an adventure to the past to find out more about old villains. Trust me, it would all come together at the end. Tai Lung was the villain in the first installment of the Kung Fu Panda franchise. The best way to characterize him is a warrior whose ego and ambition led him down a hilarious path. He showed promise as a young cub in the art of Kung Fu and formed a strong bond with his master, whom he saw as a real father. He eventually developed overconfidence, pride, and vanity as he aged and gained experience, to the point where he thought it was fate to obtain the Dragon Scroll and to turn into the Dragon Warrior. But when Grandmaster came up to him, the old turtle saw evil in his heart and didn't think he was good enough to be the Dragon Warrior. Tai Lung believed this to be a betrayal, and his pride was replaced with rage after Shifu remained silent and did nothing in response to this. Tai Lung then chose to take the Dragon Scroll by force after embarking on a rampage through the Valley of Peace and destroying everything in his path. He aggressively ambushed his old master and father figure when the latter, who was hesitant, opposed him out of resentment that Shifu had not stood up for him. After stopping Tai Lung, the Grandmaster had a unique prison constructed just for him. In the second installment, Lord Shen was the main antagonist, a cunning and evil peacock that desires to exterminate all pandas in China. In fact, he went so far as to kill Boss Wolf for defying his orders. He has no problem killing anyone who disagrees with him, but despite her blatant opposition to him, he chooses not to murder the soothsayer, demonstrating his capacity for compassion. He is also cowardly and fearful because, among other examples of being cowardly, he dishonorably kills the Master Thunder Ring Rhino with a cannon after he was easily defeated in a fight. And another instance of being fearful is when Shen asks the soothsayer what his faith is. He does this because he knows the true destiny and wants to ensure that no one can stand up to him. Shen is then also incredibly skilled at forging, can turn fireworks intended to bring color and joy into a weapon in the form of a cannon when he decides to eradicate all pandas by sheer luck attack, only some survived, and knows how to use his enemy's weakness to his advantage. Lord Shen's battle cannon topple over him after the movie. He closes his eyes and accepts death rather than fleeing because he knows he has failed and wants to avoid being punished for his crimes. Kung Fu Panda 3 saw General Kai, also known as Kai the Collector. In the past, Kai and the Grandmaster were close friends and fought as brothers-in-arms together. The Grandmaster was seriously injured in an ambush one day, and Kai carried him for days while looking for assistance. Eventually, they found a hidden panda village, where the pandas instantly healed the Grandmaster using the power of their chi. The panda showed how to use power because he was fascinated by it. But Kai grew incredibly envious, self-centered, and possessive, and desired to have the power all to himself. He decided to receive chi rather than impart it. When the Grandmaster realized the harm Kai's obsession would bring, he challenged his deceased friend. The ensuing fight shook the earth, but the Grandmaster ultimately prevailed, banishing Kai's body and soul for all time to the spirit realm. After being exiled to the spirit realm for 500 years, Kai has significantly increased his power. He meets the Grandmaster in the spirit world and issues him a fresh challenge. Although they are almost equally skilled and powerful, the Grandmaster realizes quickly that he cannot defeat Kai and voluntarily gives him his chi. After he then takes away the Grandmaster's chi and transforms the turtle into an amulet, he swears to defeat the other warrior and take his chi as well. He then uses the Grandmaster's chi to travel back to Earth to battle Po, the dragon warrior. However, Po's chi is too strong for him to control. As a result, Kai screams and explodes into a brilliant golden light, completely erasing his spirit from existence when it's destroyed by the very power he sought to acquire. All the masters Kai had absorbed over the years were finally released from his control after his death. Those who were still alive returned to the mortal world. Even after his spirit was extinguished, Kai left a lasting impression in the world of the living, which he would have appreciated as Li Shan mentioned to him to inspire the villagers to reclaim their original roles as panda warriors. Po successfully overcame Kai, and as the new Dragon Master, now works to guide the 4 panda kids, who have absorbed the energy of the original 4 constellations. Now, for Kung Fu Panda 4, the antagonist will go by the name of the Chameleon, and in our opinion, he or she will be the most dangerous foe Po has ever faced. Po's in serious trouble now that it has been discovered that the Chameleon can summon any past villains. I think that the Chameleon will likely be some sort of mythical creature or have some magical artifact to be able to do this type of stuff, because this villain has the abilities that are entirely unlike anything we have seen up to this point. If this Chameleon is really able to bring back the past enemies or just access their power, Po needs to be ready to defend his friend and all of the residents from the secret panda village we saw in Kung Fu Panda 3. Speaking of the panda village, if Chameleon truly can bring any villain back, then Lord Shen would be a real problem. And of course, maybe finally we'll be able to find out more about Po's history and address the issues revolving around his parent. During the course of the Kung Fu Panda franchises, we've never learned much about Po's mother. Although her absence is meant to imply that she's likely dead, the same was once thought of Po's father, who ended up reappearing. Bringing in villains like Lord Shen would also help to solve the mystery surrounding Po's mother's supposed death, since she could appear in the afterlife. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.